phenomenal followers, friends, and family.
Welcome back to Young Black Married Christian Podcast.
We know you fall into one of those categories. You may fall into some of those categories, but even if you fall into none of those categories, we promise you, over the next few minutes, we will give you 4 to 5 tips to fortify the future of your marriage.
Now listen, we know you're short on time and we know you're short on data, but do us a favor. If you can't make it all the way through the podcast, click the download button that's attached to the podcast and take us with you throughout your day.
Now there's a lot to get into, but we're going to do it for you.
We are your hosts, LaShad and Doriana James, from all the way down in San Antonio, Texas, working hard to make sure your spouse doesn't become one of your exes. Let's get started. So today, Doriana, we have a very special episode. This is 39 ways to speak your spouse's love language. So because we have 39 ways to speak your spouse's love language, we definitely want to get right into it. So I'm not going to give a long introduction. If you haven't heard our previous episode on the 5 love languages, that episode will serve as an introduction to this one.
Yep.
For this episode, we're going to get right into some brand new content. So words of affirmation is our very first love language. Words of affirmation are words that build somebody up. All right. If this is your primary love language, it means that when you receive unsolicited comments and you hear words like I love you and you hear all the reasons that a person loves you, you feel built up, you feel loved. But this also means that insults can break your heart and leave lasting scars.
Yeah.
What I love about this is that when you learn the five love languages, you not only learn what somebody likes, but you learn what they dislike.
Yeah.
And so for this example, if your spouse or yourself, if words of affirmations is your love language, that doesn't just mean you like compliments, but it means your spouse or whoever, is with you, they have to be careful with their words.
Yeah.
They can't in anger just speak out because it's going to disproportionately hurt you more than it would hurt a normal person because your love language is words of affirmation.
Yeah. So in Gary Chapman's book, and again, you can kind of hear a little bit about that in our last podcast, he has some really good tips, some really good things for you to practice with your spouse. So we're going to go through some of these and we're just going to tell you what we think. Yeah. So 1, he says, remind yourself that words of affirmation is your spouse's primary love language, and print the following on a card and put it on a mirror or some other place that you're going to see it every day. And it says, words are important, words are important, words are important.
Yes. Yeah. I learned a long time ago to never say anything to Doriana that I wouldn't say to any one of God's daughters. And I always think of Doriana as a child of God. And right when I want to say something ratchet, and when I forget that words of affirmation are important, I think of God over her shoulder, like, what were you going to say to my daughter?
Yeah.
What was that? One more time so I could hear you. I couldn't. You were about to say something. I wanted to hear what it was. But I think I could do a better job in remembering the positive side of words of affirmation, knowing that words are important and I need to make sure I'm proactively lavishing it on you. So yeah, I think that's a good tip.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, another one says, for 1 week, keep a written record of all the words of affirmation that you've given your spouse each day. And you might be kind of surprised at how well or how poorly you're speaking words of affirmation.
Interesting. So keep a written record of how good or how bad you've been doing it. I think one thing that might be interesting is just to keep a tally mark. Maybe have a personal goal of, how many times have you intentionally and unsolicitedly given words of affirmation, and just put like a little check mark next to the day and see if you can hit your goal of maybe 5 a day or 7 a day or 9 a day without it being awkward. And if Gary doesn't have a way to do that, I'm actually going to share one of my secret tips on how I try to accomplish words of affirmation.
Secret now?
Secret. No, not now. Later. I'm going to see if Gary mentions it.
Oh, okay.
All right. Point number 3.
Okay.
Third way, how to speak your spouse's love language of words of affirmation.
Third way, set a goal to give your spouse different compliments each day for 1 month. If an apple a day keeps the doctor away, maybe a compliment a day will keep the counselor away.
That's actually a good tip, because a lot of times I feel like I run out of material, but I don't. And I feel like I just need to be more intentional about switching up how I give you words of affirmation and compliments. I can't just be like, girl, you look good.
Yeah.
Girl, you look good. Girl, you look good. Like I gotta switch it up and
keep
mention
saying
something.
it, but yeah, you gotta remix it sometimes.
I know. I compliment her every single day. Like it's like an onslaught.
Girl, you look good.
See how I switched it up there? Can I have your number? Yeah, I think that's a good tip. So switching up the variety. Yeah. So tip number 4, what you got?
Learn to say I love you or other expressions of affirmation in a couple of different languages.
Learn to say I love you. Say that again. Learn to say I love you.
Learn to say I love you or other expressions of affirmation in a couple different languages.
Oh, so he's literally meaning like,
yeah,
be like,
like
Sadanke.
Ich liebe dich is German.
What?
That's German for I love you.
Ooh, I have no way of knowing if that's true. And a part of me thinks you're just messing with me.
No, I'm really serious. Ich liebe dich.
That is the most unromantic.
Yep.
Oh, it sounds like you're insulting me, spitting at me, and calling me a slur, like a racial slur, all at one time.
Yeah. But saranghae is
saranghae.
in Korean. Saranghae. It's Korean for
Do I have to say it like saranghae?
Yeah, you have to.
Okay.
That's the inflection.
Okay, whatever.
I think that one, I don't really like that one too much. That's my love.
You gotta embarrass me in front of everybody like this.
Oh my God.
Like, look, I love you. I got one language. I haven't learned the other ones. I'm sorry. Not as
we have 2 already. I think we did pretty good. But no, I don't really like that one too much. But I guess I know I'm not really a words of affirmation person 100%. So other languages spoken to me, I guess it would be like the same as saying I love you.
You could, I think we could definitely remix it. Maybe do like photos or pictures or cards. And I don't know if he's going to go into this, but even if it's not necessarily another language, maybe it's just another format of saying I love you. So maybe in our day it could be video versus text versus handwritten card versus photo. I mean, so I think the overarching idea is mix it up.
Yeah, for sure, sure. Okay, number 5. Compliment your spouse in the presence of his or her parents or friends. You'll get double the credit. Your spouse will feel loved, and the parents will feel lucky to have such a great son or daughter-in-law.
I actually do love this tip because I like hearing good things about me, and I like it when you say good things about me in front of other people. Like it does. I'm not gonna lie, it does double the credit that you get. Like
Good.
it doubles it. Like if you
y'all, let me tell you about my husband.
don't do it now in front of everybody here.
I
but
love him so much. He's such a blessing in my life.
But ladies, if you're out there, and I don't know if your spouses are words of affirmation, but normally most men do well with praise. They don't do well with shame, but they definitely do well with this positive encouragement. Mm-hmm. And so if you're out with your friends, use that as an opportunity to say, you know what I love about my husband is that he always blank blank blank, or that he most of the time he does blank blank blank. I love the way he leads. I love the way he responds to conflict. I love his consistency. Like, you don't have to be awkward about it. It could be something very quick, but it definitely resonates with us, and it definitely encourages us to continue to do whatever that one thing is that you're mentioning. Yeah. And the culture out there, guys. Like there's a huge culture of somehow talking about your spouse and like joking and picking on them is like cool, or especially if it's just a girls' party, then we just do like a husband bashing session to make everybody feel better about their situations.
Yeah,
like
that's not cool.
Yeah, that's not cool at all. Like it's a weird culture, even guys that sometimes they'll get together and be like, well, the wife, right?
The old ball and chain.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, that's not cool. Like I don't like you. I'm not. First of all, I don't know. There's so many things about that. I don't like you talking about your wife because I know her, and I feel like I can't even go look her in her face now that you just said all those weird things about her, or those non-compliments, whatever. So let's switch that up. Let's use a public forum, and even private forums, but definitely public forums, as a way to say, hey, you know what I really love about Doriana is that she does X, Y, and Z, and that makes me feel great. Yeah. So yeah, I like that.
Because then, compliments are contagious. So if you're especially in like a girls' night or a guys' night, if you say, man, my wife does this, or man, my husband really does this and this, it makes other people want to mention the good things that their husbands do. Yeah. And it kind of takes the focus off of any of the negative things that aren't really probably as important.
Yeah, and you can become a thermostat instead of a thermometer. A thermometer is something that just, someone who goes into a room and then they just read the room and just give back, whatever the room is. So if there's a bunch of negativity, a thermometer will go in and just give negativity out, because like, hey, I guess this is a negative. This is
the negative room.
This is the negative room. Yeah. So I'm just gonna give you negativity. But if you're a thermostat, you can walk into a room that may be filled with negativity, and you can insert some positivity and give other people kind of a license to compliment their husbands, as opposed to just be rude. And so, yeah,
you can go in and change the atmosphere.
That's right. Okay.
Okay, so number 6, it says look for your spouse's strengths and tell them how much you appreciate those strengths. But for this one, make sure to be specific. Like, oh, I really like how you reach out to people in church who don't seem to have like anyone else to talk to, or you really are keeping up with the job search, and I know it'll pay off.
Oh man, I may be more words of affirmation than I first thought, because I love hearing those examples make my little man heart happy. So yeah.
Little man heart. Okay, number 7, occasionally email or text a note of affirmation during the day or when you're traveling, or if you know your spouse is having a hard day, send the link to like a funny website or a funny meme or something like that.
So I know that anytime you send me memes, they're really, really funny. But here's the bonus tip I've been saving for the past 2 minutes. And it's that I schedule text messages to my wife.
He's a cheater.
I'm not cheating. This is how you win, fellas. This is how you win. Listen to me right now. Schedule text messages to your wife. Make them something that's true. Something that you're always thinking, but something that you want them to get at a certain time. So I may be thinking, man, I love my wife, but she just walked out the door. I just told her I love her. And in that moment, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to schedule a text message that goes out a little bit after lunchtime to say, hey, baby, just thinking about you. I love you. I hope you're having a great day. And I schedule it. It goes out. She gets it, and she may get it after work, but she sees it's time stamped at a certain time. And I feel like she's, receiving it in the way I'd want her to get it. And so that's the tip, guys. Schedule those text messages. I know you can do it on Android phones, on iPhones. I'm not 100% sure how to do it. You can schedule emails in Gmail. I do know that. So I know that's kind of weird, but yeah. So however you guys get it done.
And then tip 8 is to thank your partner for doing something that they usually do routinely and that they wouldn't expect to be complimented for.
So we have this game that we play where we say, hey, baby, I bet you didn't think I noticed, but I saw you wash the dishes and it looks amazing. Yeah. Or be like, hey, baby, I bet you didn't think I noticed, but I saw that you straightened up the bookcases. And so it's a funny game because we try to mention something that's, and I struggle to use this word, but we try to mention something that's really, really small, right?
Yeah.
That normally would go uncomplimented for just because it's done either every day or that it was something that was really tiny. But we'll mention it and we'll say, I bet you didn't think I noticed that, but I did. And I just wanted to say thank you. And then so she has to try to pick something that I've done and be like, oh, I bet you didn't think I noticed that you threw the clothes from the washer into the dryer, but I did, and I appreciate it. And I'm like, oh, yeah. I bet you didn't think I noticed that you came home early from work today or something like that. And and then so we go back and forth and back and forth. Listen, that is a fun game to have because it does kind of make you stretch and exercise some of the things you may be overlooking.
Oh yeah,
and during
attention to the details.
Yeah, and then during that game, you actually do you do affirm one another, and so yeah, I think that's amazing.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, okay. So love language number 2 is quality time. So if this is your primary language, you really value doing things together, doing things with your partner, receiving their full undivided attention, including quality conversations and activities. Anything like distractions, postponed dates, or not being listened to can be especially hurtful to you. And also in the book, Dr. Chapman, he shares tips on how to enjoy that quality time and enjoy quality conversations, especially if this is your spouse's primary love language, but not yours, and to make time for quality activities.
Yes. So here are some tips. If your spouse's love language is quality time, here are some things that you can do to fill their love tank. Number 1, some couples are together a lot more often than others. If that's the case, don't try to make all of your time together quality time. Designate specific times and places for planned togetherness. That's interesting.
I like that.
Yeah, because I think when we were dating, even in college or even in high school, there were times where we were together all the time. I would say to myself, we're together all the time. Why do we need to go out? Kind of deal, you know? And I didn't understand that physically being together is not the same as diving deep into some intimate quality time moments, like going out and making something a little special. So, not all time is quality time. I guess that's the underlying tip.
And this is one of my love language. This is one of my love languages that ranked a little higher up. So that makes sense to me, saying like, just because we're together doesn't mean that it's quality conversation, or just because we're talking doesn't mean it's quality conversation.
Yes. Number 2, ask your spouse for a list of 5 activities that he or she would enjoy doing with you. Don't assume that you know this. Make plans to do one of them each month for the next 5 months. Ouch. If money is an issue, space and freebies between the we can't afford this event. So, excuse me, if money is an issue, then space the freebies between the we can't afford this event. So I guess he's saying if you have 2 expensive events and 3 inexpensive events, then possibly interweave them. Yeah, so you have enough time to save some money for the things that are a little bit more expensive. But ultimately he's saying put at least one of these a month inside your calendar. Ooh.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that one's going to be a challenge because I know there's a lot of places that you told me that you wanted to go.
Yeah.
And I have not thrown them on the calendar. And I feel like, failing to plan means
plan to fail.
Yeah. So we might have to really apply this one.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got some days in my mind that we need to act on for sure.
And we have a shared calendar, and we have also a shared Google Keeps document for date ideas. And so we'll be throwing that in our training course. So that's coming soon. But, we can do this. And I think this is something we should definitely try. Number 3, one way to share quality time at a distance is to include your spouse in your day as it's happening. Send a photo of something that you saw on your walk to the office, or relay a funny incident that happened in a meeting. One woman said, quote, "My husband sent a photo of him, my daughter, and the dog sitting on our front porch. I was at work and it made me feel like I was hanging out with them." That's very interesting.
I like that.
That's so much better.
Thought about that.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
That's so much better than posting that on Instagram or like online.
Yeah.
Send it to your spouse in a funny little way of saying, "Hey, this is my day. Like, this is what this cockroach on my floor looks like," or look at this, look at the shoes look at how my shoes got messed up, or something. Just something that you would normally post online. Just send it to your spouse.
Ooh, you're about to be my new Facebook bae.
Ooh, I like that. We about to send our relationship through the roof. All right, number 4. Think of an activity your spouse enjoys, but which brings little pleasure to you. SEC football, crafting, nature photography.
Interesting.
Yeah. Tell your spouse that you're trying to broaden your horizon and would like to join them in this activity sometime this month. Set a date and give it your best effort. Wow. Doriana, you've done really good at that, where especially with sports, you'll be like, you know what? This is a big football game. Tell me who I'm rooting for, and let's go for it.
I like that. I think it's fun.
Number 5, plan a weekend getaway, just the 2 of you sometimes within the next 6 months.
Oh my goodness.
Be sure that it's a weekend when you won't have to be in touch with the office or have a family commitment. Focus on relaxing together, doing what one or both of you enjoy.
Oh, that sounds like a wonderful idea.
I'm hearing a theme in all of these tips is that you got to put it on the calendar and plan it. You got to have a shared calendar. So that's
definitely got to be a plan.
Yeah. Let's see. Next one. Number 6 for the quality time. Make time every day to share with each other some of the events of that day. When you spend more time watching the news than you do listening to each other, you end up more concerned about the Middle East than about your spouse. Dang, Gary.
Dang. Come on.
Or when you spend more time on Facebook than you do listening to each other, you end up more concerned about your 100 friends than your spouse.
Who only has 100 friends? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you can tell this. Okay. Number 7, you have to do chores anyway. So talk as you dust, declutter, and do laundry. It'll make the work go much faster.
Yeah, I could see. I like that one. I like that one too. But we really aren't. We're not home at the same times. Like,
we
ever.
clean separately.
Yeah. So I could see how that would do well if we were home together.
Yes. All right. That's it for quality time. Time to go for receiving gifts. So, if your primary love language is receiving gifts, then you deeply treasure gifts and gestures that show that you're being thought of, cared for, and prized above whatever was sacrificed to bring you the gift. Think about that. That you see value for not only the gift, but whatever was sacrificed to bring you the gift. Gifts are visual symbols of love. You feel hurt by the absence of daily gestures, a missed birthday, anniversary, or a hasty, thoughtless gift.
Ooh.
Oh boy, I'm getting cut up now because I am not a great gift. I'm becoming a better gift giver.
He's getting better, yeah.
But I definitely need this podcast probably more than anybody. So, all right, Doriana, give me some tips. Give me some ideas. How can I
love it. This is one of my top love languages as well.
All right.
Love languages as well. Okay. First one is, you've heard of the 12 days of Christmas. How about the 12 days of gifts for your spouse's birthday or wedding anniversary? I like that.
So just 12 days of gifts?
Yeah.
Ooh, man.
For a birthday or wedding anniversary.
That would definitely be a big exercise in me being able to be a better gift giver. But I'm not actually mad at that idea. We got to pick 1 or 2 of these and just see how they go. But yeah, I'm not actually mad at that.
For sure. We'll do a case study and let y'all know how it goes. Okay, number 2, let nature be your guide. The next time you take a walk through the neighborhood, keep your eyes open for a gift for your spouse. It may be a stone, a stick, or a feather. You may even attach a special meaning to your natural gift. For example, a smooth stone might symbolize your marriage, with many of the rough places now polished. A feather might be a symbol for how your spouse is the wind beneath your wings. Oh, that's cute. It's free too.
I could tell love languages is I could tell that, gifts is my very least, love language, because everything about that was terrible to me. If you bring me a rock and a feather, I'm going to tell you to wash your hands.
Oh my gosh.
Take that back outside and put nature back with nature.
You're silly. Okay, well, you're a city boy, so.
No, it's not just even a city boy. Like I don't like receiving gifts. Is not my thing. If it's not,
it's like your lowest one. I think.
My receiving gifts, and this is probably a level up for everybody here. I'm acts of service. That's what I love.
We're not there yet. So.
Oh, but I'm not. But I'm going to tie it into receiving gifts. I'm acts of service, and the only gifts I like to receive are something that makes my life and job easier. And ironically, those are the only gifts, and not the only gifts, but those are some of the only gifts I give Doriana. Like hey, Doriana, I got you this. It's something that's going to make her life easier. There's no symbolism. There's no like deeper poetic meaning. It's like, here's Raid.
Doriana, you said you had bugs in your office. Here's a can of Raid.
As a gift. It's a special surprise. Or she tells me, hey, I'm going to be taking some phone calls when I'm out of the office from my cell phone, but I may be driving and I need a good headset. So I go out and I buy her the top of the line, Bluetooth headset, so that her life is a little bit easier.
I mean, that was actually a good gift. It was like,
but it was
cool.
Like, I didn't be like, this is like the words to my heart in your ear or something weird. Like, I didn't make it poetic. It was this is the top of the line.
I could kind of see that.
No, this is a top of the line Bluetooth headset that's going to make your life easier, and I hope you like it.
Anyway,
Yeah.
3. Discover the value of handmade originals. Make a gift for your spouse. This may require you enroll in an art or like a crafts class, ceramics, scrapbooking, painting, wood carving, anything like that. Your main purpose for enrolling is to make your spouse a gift.
So you guys may not know this, but I have written a rhyme or a poem or a rap for Doriana for multiple years.
Yeah, every Valentine's Day.
Maybe in our inner circle, I may release one of these raps. Matter of fact, if you're part of our Phenomenal Family Inner Circle, if you're part of our Phenomenal Family Inner Circle, comment on any of our posts and let me know that you want to hear some of these bars that I've written to Doriana. And when I tell you they're good, I mean like they're fire. It's fire.
It's fire.
It's fire.
They're actually pretty good.
Yeah. And matter of fact, if you don't know what our Phenomenal Family Inner Circle is and you'd like to join, simply click the link that's in the description of this episode, and you're going to get premium episodes. You're going to get a lot of cool things that you're really going to love. If you love this podcast, you're definitely going to love our premium content. So go ahead and look at the link in the description, click it, and considering partnering with us and becoming a part of our Phenomenal Family Inner Circle.
Phenomenally.
It's not phenomenally. Gosh.
I'm going to get him to say it one day. I promise you I will. Okay. So next, number 4. When money is tight, think of an appropriate symbolic gift. Look at pictures maybe of beautiful houses and daydream about what kind of house you would want to have if money were no object, or what kind of vacation you would like to go on if money were no object.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So 5, keep a gift idea notebook. Every time you hear your spouse say, I really like that, or I would really like to have one of those, write it down in your notebook. How many of us have had the experience of asking someone what they wanted for their birthday or Christmas and get the response, oh, I don't know. Listen carefully and you will get quite a list.
So I've done this thing, and fellas, this may be helpful for you. I've actually had to take my wife into the store and just walk around and go window shopping. And I literally took photos with my phone of every single thing that she wanted or that she liked. And it was helpful for me to understand like what kind of dresses she liked, what kind of style she likes. And
he knows the word peplum top now.
I do know the word peplum top, fellas. I may not know how to say love in like 6 different languages, but I know what a peplum top looks like. And every time I mention it, people are like, "Ooh, you're so cultured," and I'm like, "Oh no, I'm just married and involved." No biggie. But yeah, that's a good one.
Okay. 6, enlist a personal shopper. If you really don't have a clue as to how to select a specific gift for your spouse, ask a friend or a family member who knows your wife or husband and let them help you.
Oh, I'm dropping value bombs today. I took Doriana's mom. Sorry. I took Doriana's mom to the store with me, and I was like, what would Doriana like? And she was like, ooh, I know how to do this. And for y'all who don't know, Doriana's mother loves getting gifts for both of us from both of us and acting like she knows nothing about it.
Yeah.
But there's a great way to know if her hand's in something, because she's always over invested in the presentation of it and like receiving feedback on how it went.
Yeah.
And so
like when we first moved into the house, it was funny. She cooked chili for us and everything. Like it was like our first meal. And then LaShad came home and she was like, Doriana cooked for you. Yeah,
and
Doriana cooked for you.
Immediately, I was like, no, you cooked for us, and you're trying to give Doriana the brownie points, and I appreciate it, and it's really cute, but...
The same thing with our anniversary. My mom bought me a pedicure card, and I knew it wasn't LaShad because I just know Bay don't have like the gift skills like that yet.
Not yet.
He's getting better, but she was just like, "Oh, LaShad got you the pedicure card. He got you a pedicure card." And I immediately looked at it and I was like, "You didn't get this." You're like, "No, I didn't."
So definitely, here's a tip: if you guys or females, if you can't think of what to get your spouse, go get your best friend or their mom or their dad, somebody who really knows them. And just take that person shopping with you and say, what would my wife like? What would my husband like? And then you can buy it, you can wrap it, and then it can come from you, and your spouse will be happy.
Yeah. Number 7. Offer the gift of presence during an especially hard time in your spouse's life. Perhaps they are caring for an elderly parent or dealing with a job crisis.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Gift of presence, okay. Yeah. Number 8, give your spouse a book and agree to read it yourself. Then offer to discuss together a chapter or so each week. Don't choose a book that you want him or her to read, but choose a book on a topic both of you all have an interest in. For example, football, sex, gourmet cuisine, investing, child rearing, religion, or like history.
Yeah, so for those of you people who like to read, that's kind of cool. I think something I like that me and Doriana have done recently or in the past is listening to audiobooks.
Yeah.
And so anytime we want to digest a whole book, we can just throw it on the audiobook and we can digest it and talk about it later. So, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the number 9 is give a lasting tribute. Give a gift to your spouse's favorite charity in honor of his or her birthday, the anniversary, or another occasion. Ask the charity to send a card informing your spouse of what you've done. The church or charity will be excited, and so will your spouse. This is actually something LaShad's mentioned that he would enjoy. Like a gift that he would like would be to have it something donated to an organization in his name or on his behalf.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And guess what, guys? That's the end of part 1. Make sure to tune into part 2 for the rest of these 39 tips.
Yes. So we are happy that you joined us for this episode. We hope we said something that enriches your life. Again, if you'd like to hear more content like this and get access to premium episodes and kind of a deeper conversation between me and Doriana and yourself, then please join the Phenomenal Family Inner Circle.
Phenomenally.
It is not the Phenomenally.
It will forever be the Phenomenally.
But yes, please, the link is in the description below to join the Phenomenal Family Inner Circle, and we look forward to chatting with you there. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye. If you financially partner with us, our mission is to reach 10,000 families.
Yes.
And if you financially partner with that, then we have something special just for you.
The number one thing we have for you is that this podcast will keep going. The quantity of our post will increase. The quality of our post will increase. And the podcast keeps living on because of your support. And so for your monthly gift of $3, $5, or $7, you will get
our undying gratitude.
Undying.
And a hug from us when we meet in person.
I'm a hugger. I'd love to do that. You'll also get access to our membership site, Community and Forum. This is where we will have conversations about some of the topics that we're bringing up, and we really dive deeper into each episode that we publish. You'll also get monthly updates and kind of a behind the scenes look into the James family and the podcast itself.
You'll also get a verbal shout out in our next episode.
Yes, and you'll get access to all of our archived content. Listen, I know you've been binge watching or binge listening to the podcast, and I want to let you know that your binge listening is incomplete without these archived content. Yes. You'll also get unreleased episodes. These are unfinished projects that we just didn't get a chance to publish or master or edit. We'll release that to you because there are some gems inside of there. There's some gems in there. And so we want you to have them. You'll also get access to premium episodes. These are fully produced episodes that you're not going to get unless you're a member of the Phenomenal Family Inner Circle.
You're also going to be able to help us pick future topics for the shows.
Yes.
And also priority access to all of our Q&A sessions.
Yes, your question will definitely get answered before everyone else's because listen, you're a member of our inner circle. We have to take care of you before we take
phenomenally.
care of Yes.
We're phenomenal.
We are
family.
not the phenomenally.
We're the phenomenally. We're phenomenally.
So you'll also get a 10% discount on every book and audiobook and training course that we produce in 2019 and 2020.
Yes. So we want to thank you for considering partnering with us. Thank you for your support.
Truly, thank you for your support. And as a bonus to our founding members, you'll also get a 10-minute phone call with yours truly. We want to hear your story. We want to encourage you personally. And we want to just say thank you. Thank you for helping us reach others.
We're looking forward to talking to you soon. Bye.
Phenomenal followers, friends, and family.
Welcome back to Young Black Married Christian Podcast.
We know you fall into one of those categories. You may even fall into some of those categories, but even if you fall into none of those categories, we promise you that over the next few minutes, we will give you 4 to 5 tips to fortify the future of your marriage.
Now, we know you're short on time, we know you're short on data, but do us a favor. If you can't make it all the way through the podcast, go ahead and click that download button attached to the podcast and take us with you throughout your day.
Now, there is a lot to get into, but we are going to do it for you.
We're your hosts, Lashad and Doriana James, from all the way down in San Antonio, Texas, working hard to make sure your spouse doesn't become one of your exes.
Let's get started. So this is part, I was going to say 2 in Spanish and I just forgot. Dos. I was going to say duo. Part duo. That would sound so silly. Oh gosh, this is part 2 of the 39 ways to use the 5 love languages to show your spouse that you love them.
Yes.
So in the first episode, we went over a few of them, but we're going to finish out all 39 tips because we're trying to give you value. We're trying to move your life forward. Yeah. So we really hope you enjoy the second half of the episode on the 39 ways to show your spouse that you love them using the 5 love languages.
Ooh, value in volume.
Ooh, I like that.
Voluminous value.
What are you talking? Okay, let's get to the episode. So now we are going to transition to love language number 4, which is acts of service. So Doriana, what in the world is acts of service?
Oh, Lashad's so ready for this. Because
I'm too ready.
This is his number 1 love language, like by far. Like his score on this one, all the other ones were so far behind. Okay, so acts of service. If this is your primary love language, you feel loved when your spouse says, "Let me do that for you." And it helps to ease your burdens or share your responsibilities. Things like cooking a meal, washing the car, anything like that. Broken commitments and unwillingness to help, laziness or sloppiness, or taking your spouse for granted all send the message that your spouse doesn't matter. Yeah. So even if you and your spouse share the same primary love language, of acts of service, you may speak different dialects or value different types of support being rendered. Like, you might prefer that they wash dishes while the other one might prefer that iron clothes, you know? So try asking your spouse to list down the tasks that he or she considers the most important and do those.
So I'm going to try so hard not to harp on this because this is by far my favorite love language. Might be my only love language. I don't know. But this is definitely in the top for me.
This is the only way I receive love.
This is it. And oh my goodness. You want to insult me, do something to make my life, my job harder, specifically like my work or my job, and if you want to show me you love me, do something to make my life easier, like make my wife happy, make my job go a little bit better, make the people who I'm trying to support a little happier. Join the Phenomenal Family Inner Circle.
Phenomenally.
You'll have my undying love because you're actually helping me reach 10,000 families. So, okay. Number 1, consider serving someone or something your spouse loves, an older relative, caring attentively for a pet, or a favorite cause. And that's kind of crazy. I didn't know that the book was going to open up with that, but yes, if you serve someone I care about or something I care about, that's a beautiful act of service. Love showing to me. And I really receive it. Number 2, print note cards with the following quote: "Today I will show my love for you by blank." Complete the sentence with a task that your spouse would love you to do. Picking up the clutter, taking old clothes to a thrift store, fixing something that's been broken for a long time, weeding the garden, and bonus points if it's a chore that's been put off for a long time.
I can see that. I tried to make Lashad a coupon book once, but I think anything tangible just aggravates him. So I had all these acts of service in a love coupon book, and he wasn't feeling it because the book was actually like a tangible item. He was like, I want all of these things, so I don't want to have to cash in a coupon, just do all of them. And I was like, that's not how
the book was symbolic. The book was symbolic, but I was like, hey, why don't you just go ahead and knock all these out as soon as possible?
Just do them all.
That'd be great.
Like
I'd feel because I don't feel the love from the coupon book. I feel the love from the actions inside of the coupon book.
Yeah, but the idea was you take the coupon and you just like, I'm going to redeem this coupon, but it was lost. It was lost. It's okay.
Number 3, ask your spouse to make a list of 10 things that he or she would like you to do during the next month. Then ask your spouse to prioritize them by numbering them 1 to 10, with 1 being the most important and 10 being the least important. And use this list to plan your strategy for a month of love. Get ready to live with a happy spouse.
Okay.
Gary, I hear
I like that. I think I'd like that because sometimes I know what Lashad likes, but if he were just to tell me what he would find most valuable, like what act he would find most valuable, then I could focus on that and then like knock the list off, start at number 1 and then maybe work to 10 instead of doing things in the opposite order.
And I'll say that I am disproportionately more happy when you do things on the top of my to-do list than I am with anything you do. Like, if even if, and not to get too raw here, I know this isn't the inner circle, but like even if sex isn't always happening when and how I wanted to, if my to-do list is getting knocked off, I'm still like really, 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 really happy. Even if and again, there are some crazy things that could be going on, but if I come home and like there's food in the house already ready and cooked and hot and prepared for me with in the microwave ready to go, or if clothes have been taken care of or dishes have been taken care of, or like space has been cleared off, those type of things make me feel so loved, and they get me all riled up, make me want to do something for you, make me hot.
Oh my gosh. Go ahead.
Number 4, while your spouse is away, get the children to help you with some acts of service for him. When he walks in the door, join the children in shouting, "Surprise, we love you," and then share your act of service.
Oh, Lashad's going to love that when we have kids.
Yes. Number 5, this can also work when your spouse is away for a long period of time, such as a military deployment. Recruit the kids to help you with some act of service for him. Take a picture of the results and send it, or even better, show it to them via Skype and yell, "Surprise, we love you." Number 6, if your requests to your mate come across as nags or put downs, try writing them in words that would be less offensive to them. Share this revised wording with your spouse. For example, "The yard looks so nice, and I really appreciate your work. I'd love to thank you in advance for mowing the lawn this week before Paul and Amy come over for dinner." Ooh. Your husband might respond, "Where's the lawnmower? I can't wait. Try it and see." That's an interesting tip.
Still sound a little salty.
That did sound a little salty. Number 7. All right. If you have more money than time, hire someone to do the act of service that neither of you wants to do, such as yard work or once a month deep cleaning of your home.
Not opposed to that.
Not opposed to it at all.
Specialization in trade.
Are we going to get the Are we going to get the food in the pre-prepared trays?
Probably not.
Number 8. Run interference for your spouse during his or her favorite TV show or important sports event. Take care of all the phone calls, kids, emergencies, and so on.
Oh, that's gonna be really cool. I think that's a good tip.
Yeah, and I've done this. I've done this for you in a way where you had a day off and mom and dad wanted to like hang out and talk. Yeah. And I knew you were really tired. And I told them off rip. I was like, they were like, where's Doriana at? And I was like, I don't know. But when she gets home, she's going to want to go to sleep and I'm going to leave her alone. And we should just probably all just leave her alone because, this is going to be bad. Like, just don't even call. I mean, if she doesn't even answer, it's because she's asleep. Just trust me on this. And so, that was a very rare event where I was trying to run defense so that, you could get some rest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yes, that's it. So next one is love language number 5.
Number 5.
Physical touch. All right.
This is mine.
Okay, let's get into it. Physical touch can bring a sense of security and connection to any relationship. If this is your primary love language, then you crave shows of care and love through thoughtful touches, hugs, kisses, pats on the back, and or sexual intercourse. Neglect or abuse can cause serious damage and hurt to you emotionally. Like other love languages, there are different dialects in physical touch, such as a loving touch on the arm, back, shoulders, or back rub, sexual foreplay and intercourse, sitting closely on the couch, holding hands, etc. Even if you share the same love language of physical touch, don't assume he or she speaks the same dialect as you.
Okay, so here are some tips for a physical touch. 1, as you walk from the car to go shopping, reach out and hold your spouse's hand.
Oh, I like that one. I know my wife loves for us to hold hands, and I need to be more intentional about doing that as well.
Yeah. Okay, number 2, when you shop for your spouse, look for things that will appeal to their tactile nature, like a cashmere sweater or a plush throw pillow or soft slippers.
So my wife loves blankets. Yes. I think if she couldn't marry a human, she'd marry 10 blankets.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird, and I don't know why you do it.
Shut up.
So it's totally true. And I can prove it because when we were in Target, I saw a weighted, she's laughing because it's true, guys. When we were in Target, I saw a weighted blanket and it was expensive to say the least. And I threw it directly in the cart. No questions asked. I didn't ask about the budget. I didn't ask about the fun money. I said, this is your blanket and you're going to love me for it. Because remember, guys, when I give gifts, I give functional gifts, things that actually work. And where's that blanket right now? Exactly. It's right on the bed. It gets used every single night. It's this weighted blanket that makes her feel all snuggled up and warm like a little burrito.
Like a little burrito?
Like a little burrito. So, yes, I got something that felt good, that she could feel physically weighing on her while she's sleeping. So I think that's a kind of a cool gift.
It really is. I love that.
It's funny because it's true.
Okay, so number 3, walk up to your spouse and say, have I told you lately that I love you? Take her in your arms and hug her while you rub her back and continue. You're the best. Untangle yourself and move on to the next thing.
See, I thought that tip was lame until I read the last sentence where it was like, untangle yourself and move on to the next thing. Because I'm like, dang, I feel like the only time I do something that intimate or romantic is if it was like for foreplay.
Yeah.
So I guess, doing something kind of romantic-ish like that.
In the middle of the day.
And then just bouncing and be like, nah, I don't really want anything. I just wanted to tell you that you super cool and you kind of cute and I love to be married to you. And then bounce.
I used to love, I fell in love with Lashad and his hugs. Like, I fell in love with his voice first, like, because I was like, oh my goodness, his voice. But I've always loved LaShaw's hugs. They're like he used to call them the protect you from the rain hugs.
Yes.
And he's a lot taller than me. So, whenever he wraps his arms, it's like right on my shoulders, and it almost does feel like an umbrella, So that's just a little tidbit out there.
How's that even a tip? How can they even apply
That's
that?
not a tip. That's a little bit of a peek into my life.
Like context.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hater. Anyway, so number 4, when you sit together in church, reach over and hold your spouse's hand during times of prayer.
Okay, interesting.
Nice.
Interlacing fingers.
Yeah. Weave them together. Okay, number 5, initiate sex by giving your spouse a foot massage. Continue to other parts of the body as long as it brings pleasure to your spouse.
Interesting. I do love a good foot massage. I love giving foot massages. What?
LaShaw's extremely ticklish.
And?
So, I can't really, I can't, touch him at all.
She could definitely, if you gotta put your elbow into it. You gotta really lean into the foot. That way I know you're not trying to tickle me, that you're just trying to massage me. So
He'll
it's
get
different.
violent if he thinks he's about to get tickled.
I do. I pipe up,
Oh my gosh.
I get live.
Anyway, nice. 6, when family or friends are visiting, touch your spouse in their presence. A hug, running your hand along his or her arm, putting your arm around him or her as you're standing, or just simply placing your hand on their shoulders can earn double emotional points. It says, even with all these people in our house, I still see you.
Ooh, I like that one.
I like that. Okay, 7, couples separated by circumstances such as deployment use a variety of strategies to quote-unquote touch when they cannot be physically together. Author and former military wife Jocelyn Green gave an example. For example, a handwritten letter feels more tangible than an email. Some wives will wear an old t-shirt of their husband's around the house. And one wife even said, I feel like he's hugging me when I wear his shirt. So sending a photo of yourself gives your spouse something of you to touch.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Was that the last tip?
Yeah, that was the last tip for physical touch.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I know what you're thinking. How do I discover my primary love language? How do I discover my spouse's primary love language? There is a love language quiz that we put in the episode description of the last episode. So go back and look at that. But here's 3 questions that you can ask. Number 1, what makes you feel most loved by your spouse? Or what do you desire from them the most, right? Another way to ask that question is, what does your spouse fail to do or say that hurts you deeply or brings you the deepest pain? What's the thing that irritates you the most about that relationship? What's missing? That may be your primary love language.
Yeah.
What do you do to express love to your spouse? So when you tell yourself, oh, I'm about to do something sexy, I'm about to do something cool for my spouse. Yeah. What is that thing that you're thinking about? What is that thing that you're going to do for them? Because you tend to do what you wish he or she would do for you.
Yeah.
So in our marriage, my biggest complaint was about how to structure chores and how to break up things at the house, like who's going to do what, when. And it was also like cooking food. And so I was a acts of service person. That's why I had some of the biggest frustrations with that. And that's why when she did things for me that made my life easier, like cooking or cleaning or helping out with my job, it made me feel really, really, really loved. Yeah. And that's why when I tried to do nice things for her, it would always be in the form of a duty or a task that was taken care of. And although those are all nice things, it wasn't her primary love language. So there was a little bit of love lost in that translation of her receiving it. So
yeah,
yes,
for sure.
So we've given you 39.
Yeah, not just a few tips.
39.
39
tips. We promised you that over a few minutes we give you 39 tips to fortify the future of your marriage, and I believe we did just that.
Yeah.
So we really hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to hear more content like this, then feel free to join our Phenomenal Family Inner Circle. And you're going to hear more background, more behind the scenes, get access to premium content, and there's so much more. But ultimately, you help this podcast to continue to keep going.
Yeah.
So until next time, we love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
If you financially partner with us, our mission is to reach 10,000 families.
Yes.
And if you financially partner with that, then we have something special just for you.
The number one thing we have for you is that this podcast will keep going. The quantity of our post will increase. The quality of our post will increase. And the podcast keeps living on because of your support. And so for your monthly gift of $3, $5, or $7, you will get
our undying gratitude.
Undying.
And a hug from us when we meet in person.
I'm a hugger. I'd love to do that. You'll also get access to our membership site, Community and Forum. This is where we will have conversations about some of the topics that we're bringing up, and we really dive deeper into each episode that we publish. You'll also get monthly updates and kind of a behind the scenes look into the James family and the podcast itself.
You'll also get a verbal shout out in our next episode.
Yes. And you'll get access to all of our archived content. Listen, I know you've been binge watching or binge listening to the podcast, and I want to let you know that your binge listening is incomplete without these archived content. Yes. You'll also get unreleased episodes. These are unfinished projects that we just didn't get a chance to publish or master or edit. We'll release that to you because there are some gems inside of there. There's some gems in there. And so we want you to have them. You'll also get access to premium episodes. These are fully produced episodes that you're not going to get unless you're a member of the Phenomenal Family Inner Circle.
You're also going to be able to help us pick future topics for the shows.
Yes.
And also priority access to all of our Q&A sessions.
Yes, your question will definitely get answered before everyone else's because listen, you're a member of our inner circle. We have to take care of you before we take
phenomenally.
care of Yes.
We're phenomenal.
We are
family.
not the phenomenally.
We're the phenomenally. We're phenomenally.
So you'll also get a 10% discount on every book and audiobook and training course that we produce in 2019 and 2020.
Yes. So we want to thank you for considering partnering with us. Thank you for your support.
Truly, thank you for your support. And as a bonus to our founding members, you'll also get a 10-minute phone call with yours truly. We want to hear your story. We want to encourage you personally. And we want to just say thank you. Thank you for helping us reach others.
We're looking forward to talking to you soon. Bye.